Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Boston Tea Party podcast, part of the All Day Football Show. I'm your host, Jackson Kellogg, and today we're getting into episode number 12, which puts us at week 12 on the NFL season, as the Patriots are taking on the Arizona Cardinals at home. So I will be giving you predictions and analysis, and for once, there are no transactions this week by the Patriots team, so I'll try to go take more time to go in depth on the game and the Patriots itself. So, getting right into it, Patriots are at home. It's week 12. The Cardinals are coming in at 6-4 with their last couple games, including a win against the Seahawks. They beat the Bills, but then they lost to the Seahawks again. They've been a little inconsistent towards this point in the season. Patriots coming in at 4-6. Their last three games include a close win over the Jets, where they won off of a 50-something yard field goal by Nick Folk, to then beat the Ravens at home in a very stormy game. Part of that win had to deal with the Ravens didn't know how to catch the ball in the weather. Patriots win that one 23-17. And then last week, the Patriots get beat in all fronts of play by the Texans 27-20, where there wasn't a ton of turnover. There weren't any turnovers by the Patriots. And so when you see that, and you got to think what caused this to happen. And that's because, so if we're looking at what went wrong on the offensive side, I think part of what happened was the Patriots were running the ball pretty decently well. Damien Harris was averaging about 4 yards a carry. You know, they were pounding against the Texans' run defense that's been horrible all year. And then all of a sudden, they switched away from it. They went more towards passing. Cam Newton did really well as a passer. He definitely had some throws that weren't the greatest, but that comes with all quarterbacks. But overall, Cam Newton played pretty decently. But it's not their way of play. The Patriots' offense, if the best offense they could run is just a power running game. Just power run, throw the fullback in, run that ball, get some cam options, throw quick routes. You know, this team kept trying to play action down the field, and it just isn't what they do. Time and time again, you'd watch Cam Newton get ready to unload the deep ball, and then he'd pull it back and either scramble or throw it to a check down. The offense isn't built to go deep at the moment. Maybe in future years it will be, but at the moment that's not what it's meant to do. And I think that was poor decision making by Josh McDaniels to do that, change that game plan. And then flipping to the defensive side of the ball, for a team that has no run defenders, Lawrence Guy is just about their only run defender. So then from there, you're thinking, Laramie Tunsil was out. They had another guard that was missing. I think it was Sharping, but I'm not for certain. And they couldn't get a sack. They could not sack Deshaun Watson. They barely pressured him. And that's been the story of the Patriots season so far, as their leading pass rusher this year is Chase Winovich, who has 2.5 sacks on the year. He gets great pressure, but he's only a starter for like half the season because, the Patriots keep trying to rotate D linemen and linebackers in, and part of the issue with that is a lot of those guys aren't run defenders. So Chase Winovich, they're saying, isn't a run defender, so they're pulling him out on rundowns, where why not try and develop him into that so he can be an every down edge rusher, or what they've been playing him the last 2 weeks, an off-ball linebacker, getting him, work on him with these other things. Don't just make him a pure pass rusher. I think part of the issue with Chase Winovich not being allowed to be a run stopper is that he does overcommit on pressures. So if it's a run play and he overcommits to go after the quarterback, that leaves a wide open gap for the running back to take over. And then the secondary hasn't, they've been good, not great. I don't think Jason McCourty should still be a starter. He's been slow, has lost his touch on coverage, and I think it's just about time. He's regressed let him be a veteran role model for some of the younger DBs on there to get some reps. Like J.C. Jackson needs to be a starter. He leads the league with 6 interceptions, and he's a rotational corner. Jonathan Jones has been off and on in the slot, but he has his moments. Gilmore's still Gilly Lock. He's dealt with injuries this year, but he's making... he hasn't been at the same level as he was last year, but part of that is refs are starting to call out more on him. Like, Gilmore is a very aggressive, physical corner, and they're starting to call plays on him, or call penalties. I don't think are all true. I think part of it is, some of them are true because it's either, he's trying to defend a touchdown from happening, realize he gets beat, so he stops the touchdown, stuff like that. But then there's other times where the receiver is selling it. Quick side note, that Texans-Lions game, oh my God, I think NFL receivers are turning into European soccer players, because how many flops do these receivers have to do to get pass interference calls? Time and time again, they would get just touched a little bit, and then they'd flail, and they'd give them pass interference. That shouldn't happen. I think the NFL needs to take a look at that, because that's not fair to the defensive backs who work on their art throughout every season. So I don't think that's fair to them. But all in all, the Patriots sitting at 4-6, like I said, they're at a point where one more loss could very easily kick them out of playoff contention. Right now, they're technically still in it. It would take a lot to get them there, though, as right now, if you look at how the conference is shaping up right now, Steelers will win their division, Chiefs will win their division. It's either going to be the Titans or the Colts in theirs, and it'll probably be the Bills for the East. So then from there, you have your wild card competitors as whoever loses between Titans, Colts, Raiders, Ravens, Browns, Dolphins, Patriots. That's 6 teams right there. I think the Browns are most likely going to take a spot due to their easy record or easy schedule, and they have the best record out of all those teams remaining, so they have the better lead. So I'd be willing to throw the Browns in a spot right now. But then that leaves 2 more spots to fight between 5 other teams. So the Ravens haven't been playing greatly recently. They're dealing with COVID. Raiders have been inconsistent. Whoever it isn't between Titans and Colts, both teams have been inconsistent. And then the Dolphins, they had a hot streak but then lost to the Broncos. So the Patriots do have an opportunity to try and go take a spot. It's just going to take a lot to get them there. But a loss in this game would definitely kill their season, I think. So at this point in time, you can either go for those playoff progressions, play your best players, see what they can do, or I'm not saying that I really should have thrown a question mark in there. Is it time to start evaluating younger players? Does Bill Belichick think the season is washed? If the Patriots start getting blown out in this game, I think we might start to see a lot of younger players going in, especially to finish this season off. The Patriots are a younger roster than they normally are, and they do have a lot of young talent that they need to try and figure out. I think if the Patriots lose this game, we might see Stidham go in. That's quite a possibility. Damian Harris has taken the running back position. I think Sony Michel is going to be gone after this year. Demir Bird and Jacoby Myers have been developing nicely, which is a shame because if N'Keal Harry did, that'd be 3 receivers that you could play right there. But Bird and Myers are nowhere near elite, which sucks that another reason that Harry, it's a shame he didn't develop. Onwenu has been one of the best offensive rookies this year throughout the entire league. He's been doing great on the O-line. Justin Herron, when he's played in limited roles, has played well. He's coming off of injured reserve. Then you flip to the defensive side of the ball. Chase Winovich has been our best edge rusher this year. Josh Uche, in the limited snaps he's played, has been great. I think he should be given more snaps. Anthony Jennings hasn't been given a ton of snaps, but he's played okay. J.C. Jackson has been a beast this year. And Kyle Duggar has played great when put in specific roles. So that's a lot of younger players that you have on this team that you can develop, give more reps, and see what they can do for the rest of this season. That way you can figure out what positions you need to deal with the turnover for next year. Like, I think the two needs that Bill Belichick should go after in the offseason should be receiver and the defensive line. Get more run stoppers because this team has none. And then receiver, they don't have an elite receiver. Jacoby Myers is developing into a nice complementary piece. Byrd is a nice complementary piece, but neither of them are. They can't beat a cornerback one. They can't beat a Revis Island. They can't beat a Gilly Lock. So we'll see what they do in that aspect. But now, so I think the Patriots' game plan for this game defensively should be contain Kyler Murray. Go with a 3-4 front with or a 3-4, but like a spy. So one of those two inside linebackers. I think they should throw Duggar as the inside linebacker. So it's a very finicky 3-4. You throw Duggar in, or I'm sorry, you could go with a 4-3, and I'll explain why. So 4-3, you get 4 D linemen. You throw Guy and Butler in the center. You can rotate the two of them out between Coer, Isaiah Mack. There's one other guy. I think. Oh, I forget his name. Anyways, rotate those D tackles. On the edges, you get Winovich, Simon, and Winovich, and wow, I'm doing really bad at this. Simon and Wise on the edges, rotate them through though, and then in your back three, you get Winovich as an off-ball linebacker. You throw Bentley in the center, and you rotate Jennings and Uche as the third linebacker. Give them more reps. But then in the secondary, you get Duggar should play spy. What you do is you throw Bentley. It's in soccer terms, when you have 4 defensive backs, so 4 defenders in soccer, sometimes you can go with your 2 center backs, what's called a stopper sweeper. So your stopper plays in front of your sweeper. The sweeper takes out all the plays. So you can kind of layer it in that aspect where, obviously not in soccer terms, but you can get Bentley as more the run stopping, plays up right behind the defensive tackle, stop the run play, where Duggar can come in and stop any moves by Kyler Murray, follows him, spies him around. You get your linebackers covering the edges, and then you get one-on-one coverages with the wide receivers, and throw Phillips over the top for any deep balls. J.C. Jackson, Stephon Gilmore need to be the starters in this game. Larry Fitzgerald is out, which means all 3 receivers. You get D-Hop, Christian Kirk, and Andy Isabella. Those 3 receivers are fast, good hands, great route running. So in that aspect, I think at some point you can take a linebacker out, but you cannot pull Duggar off the field. Duggar needs to be on the field as the quarterback spy if they want to win this game, because they need to contain the edges, keep Kyler Murray in, so that if he does escape, you get Duggar to go make the play, because he's the most athletic player on that defense right now. And then you get your corners to do their job, man up, stop playing zone coverage because they keep getting beat when they play zone. Man up, get Phillips over the top, and go win this game, because that's the perfect game plan. The Patriots can do it. Even though their run defense is absolutely atrocious, they can go do it if they do it in this aspect. Contain Kyler Murray, throw Duggar as a spy if he escapes, and man up on the wide receivers. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, the Cardinals' defense has been inconsistent, to say the least, this year. But I think the way to go with this is don't get fancy. Patriots go with a power running game. Their run stuffing isn't the greatest. They do have some athletic linebackers in Hassan Reddick and Isaiah Simmons. Be careful with those guys. Just run down the middle. Use those big, agile O-linemen that they have. Isaiah Wynn is out for this game, which is a shame. I feel like that might kick Onwenu to the left tackle spot. Throw Illuminar back at right tackle. Just pound this ball with Harris and Michelle. Throw quick slants, out routes, anything 15 yards down the field or more. Just be careful with, because you're going to have Patrick Peterson back there, Buda Baker, Byron Murphy. Those guys, they're going to get the ball, snatch it out of the air before you even have a chance to get down the field. Don't get fancy. Just get done what you need to get done. Just run the ball. Don't make any mistakes. No turnovers. Go win this game like the Browns would come and beat the Cardinals. Run the ball. Don't get fancy. Old school football. Win the game. So my predictions for this game, I think the Patriots win 24-21. It'll be close. I think Cam Newton and Kyler Murray combine for 120 rush yards between the two of them. Cam Newton's going to get out of the pocket a lot. So is Kyler Murray. They're going to run all over the field. And both these defenses are going to have a tough time stopping them. And I think DeAndre Hopkins gets 2 touchdowns today. Although Stephon Gilmore will most likely be shadowing him this game, I think D-Hop is the best receiver in the league. And it's going to be tough to stop him in this game, because the Patriots aren't going to come anywhere close to the game plan I just laid out. They'll probably go with a 5-1 or 5-2 with 5 DBs. And J-Mac is going to be on the field. They'll probably throw Jason McCourty on Christian Kirk and Jonathan Jones on Andy Isabella. Gilmore on D-Hop, with Duggar and Phillips just running all over the place. And I don't think it's going to work. So that's how I feel that this game is going to go. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. Hope you all have a great football Sunday and had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Have a great rest of your November. Let's go root for those Patriots to beat the Cardinals on Sunday.